You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis on all things sports. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, subscribe to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports, and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
Are you looking for a place to listen to your favorite music and sports? Look no further. WLSN, the Lieb Sports and Music Network, is a web-based music and sports network. Our network was created to provide authentic, high-energy entertainment through live streaming to a national audience. We play popular music while hosting podcasts from all over the world. Curious? Check us out on the web at liebsports.com. That's LEEIB sports.com. Or find us on the TuneIn Radio app. Got Alexa? Just say, Alexa, play WLSN on TuneIn. WLSN is America's #1 blog-themed sports and music network.
Hey, everyone in, let's go. Huddle up on 3. 1, 2, 3, huddle up.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night. If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Extremely proud of you guys on your focus and your ability to lock in all week long this week. So, what I'm going to do now, okay, because you're going brand new head football coach.
And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
We did it our way, baby! We did it! We did it! We did it!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Huddle Up Podcast, live on Tuesday, January the 18th, 2022. And we are glad to be back with you for another one. Kyle, student of the game, Kyle Nash, with me. The tool EJ Christian may join. We don't know. Technology may or may not behave for him. But Kyle, how we doing this week, my guy?
Hey, listen, it's good, man. By the way, that I believe that's a Barry Switzer comment for your thing there too. Hits a little different after a fresh victory where we predicted the Cowboys would lose. So yeah.
And I mean, it's ironic because like he said that after they won the Super Bowl, obviously the last time they won the Super Bowl, but there may not be a more appropriate clip for this week than a failed Cowboys coach talking about doing things their way, because there was nothing more Dallas Cowboys for the past 26 years than the way they lost that game. Like that was Dallas Cowboys football, like in a nutshell. That was the Dallas Cowboys of the last 20 whatever years of my life.
Well, I'd like the record to show that the only thing I have to that is I almost said the very same damn thing. And of course, now joining us, he's our fuel, he's our fire. He is all of that which we desire. Ooh, our tool. Ernest
What's
Christian.
up?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Sorry, I'm like period issues tonight. I'm sorry. I'm
happened.
still over this shit.
It happened, man. If there's anybody in this world that knows computer issues, it's this guy.
Yeah, I'm still
most
over it.
certainly. And by the way, yes, I see that you had to siphon fuel from other vehicles, a la the XFL, to get the FBI van working again. So I'm glad you managed to pull that off.
Of course. How you guys doing? All right?
Doing good.
And lastly, Jim, I feel I should apologize. I did kind of take the ball from you there, but I've been wanting to deliver that since you have to get my turn for a long time now. I hope it entertained you as much as it did.
By all means, this is our show. So anytime you want to introduce this one here, feel free.
We got contract negotiations at the end of the year. We'll figure it out.
Oh, is that right? All right, we might as well jump right into it. Divisional weekend ahead of us, but let's look back at the Super Wildcard weekend, or not so Super Wildcard weekend, as it kind of turned out to be. 6 games, 4 of them really never in doubt.
Boy, sure glad we added that extra playoff game. Woo!
Right? I mean, I think the committee got it wrong. Is this how we're doing things? That's how this works, right? When a team gets blown out, they didn't belong there, right? I think that's how things work.
Would you argue that the Eagles belonged? Matt, where the hell are you with your cigar smoking self?
Well, I would say though, like, you know, and I know Kyle definitely. I know I wasn't this for a while. You know, the whole like added the extra, you know, the 7 seeds each conference. I mean, damn, the 7 seeds this year did not put anything to make you believe that's the right thing to go. You know, I'm just saying.
I mean, the 7 seed is now 0-4. The average margin of defeat, I think I saw, is over 15 points for the 7.
Yeah. Again, it's ain't such 0-4. 0-4 is kind of expected, but it's more so did you show up to the class?
Yeah, and I mean, eventually, a 7 is going to beat a 1 or a 2. I mean, it's how the world works. I mean, eventually, we saw a 6 seed become a Super Bowl champion. So, like, it's eventually going to happen. It's going to be the outlier. But like, I mean, no surprise, it's a business money move by the NFL.
Of course,
adding the 7th game in the extra game.
But at the end of the day, if either of you get around to watching Lucifer on Netflix, you're going to feel me when you hear, "I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen." He's like, "That's my jam."
you do it on my show at least 3 times an episode. So at this point,
well, yeah, on this week's episode of football is
on. I think that's where he's coming. The place that he's coming from, he's had so many opportunities to say it, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Shut up.
So, winners or losers, good or bad, ugly, whatever. What's your biggest takeaway from this past weekend, Kyle?
Golly, you know, I got to tell you, and I know everybody was like, "Ooh," when I picked it, but even though they didn't win, how about the damn Las Vegas Raiders, though? Gentlemen. No, I will listen. There's a lot of times where Ernest Julius Christian gets it wrong, but the Raiders were frisky that night.
Wrong.
He gets it wrong.
Right here.
You need to white balance. I can't see it.
50 Raiders. Write my notes. Number 3.
It's his interrogation light in the FBI closet.
Yeah, exactly.
it bleeds out the paper.
Out of focus, dude.
But yeah, I listen, and I know that the last
Big Mike checking in with the Bengals. Go Bengals.
Yeah, no, and I'm taking nothing from Joe. Houday indeed. Yeah, I'm taking nothing from Joe Burrow and company. Let me be clear. Heck, these guys will tell you I advocated for the Bengals way before either of them did. I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't.
Ski, that's twice now. Over under 6 times now. You fuck yourself.
No, I think Kyle, you hit the nail on the head with that one. I mean, I was definitely kind of giving the Raiders no shot. I thought the Bengals were coming in hot. I mean, not that the Raiders weren't necessarily, coming in on a little bit of an uptick, but I just thought, man, you're playing much better competition. You're on the road. You're not going to be in the same zip code as the Bengals and the Raiders. Man, they showed their grit. Absolutely,
they were in the same zip code and within 10 yards.
Yeah. You know, they made a game out of it, and they very well could have won that game. You know, so absolutely credit to the Raiders, and that's going to be an interesting thing to watch over the next couple of weeks. Is we saw they fired Mayock. I don't know that that's necessarily a surprise or not, but I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with the head coaching position, and that's going to be something we're going to watch here as the rest of the playoffs play out. Because I know there's been more hardball rumors this week, but man, I think you have to give a real good consideration to the guy that got you on that playoff run.
Yeah.
No, there's something there. There's something there to that. Also, I see a great opportunity to really shake things up with the league. And if they manage to get their claws on, let's say, Byron Leftwich, I would say Eric Bieniemy, but they're in the division. I don't think that'll happen. But if they hire Byron Leftwich, I think that's a big damn deal.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, absolutely. EJ, thoughts on the Raiders, or what is your biggest takeaway?
Takeaway. I got plural. I got multiple takeaways. I got notes here, buddy. Come on now.
Wow.
First, the Raiders frisky thing. That's a thing. It's number 3 off the list. Thank you.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Hey, stealing my paper. Look at that. Anyway, the Cowboys are still the Cowboys. I was wrong. Super contenders, my ass. Listen. I admitted it on the Football's Awesome podcast today that I was wrong about the Cowboys being contenders.
He did.
Wow. And on the Cowboys.
Hey, EJ, what did I say to you?
About what?
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
I told you. No.
There's a soundbite, Jim. Damn it.
Every time you start to believe in this team every other year, whatever, and then they just let you down. I mean, I'm not a Cowboy fan necessarily, but this guy.
Jim, stop lying to the listeners.
Shut up, Kyle. No, Jim, it must suck to be you, man.
Dude, no, it does. And like the funny thing is, because I at work this week, like everybody's like, now that you have it a couple of days, how do you? And I'm like, I'm not even surprised at this point.
You did pick against them for the listeners.
I picked against them.
Be clear.
But here's the thing: it's not like I didn't expect it to be as close as it ended up being, and like once again, they came out flat. It's every time. They come out flat. They dig a hole. They get this close to completing the comeback.
The best part was that I'm texting you and I texting. You have a group text together, us 3, and we're texting during the game. And even when they come back, Jim's like, "Nope, they're gonna lose. They're finally lose. They're fine."
When they got within 6, my wife looks at me and she's like, "Why aren't you getting excited?" I go, "Because I know how this ends. They're going to find a creative way. It's going to be a interception in the end zone. It's going to be blown coverage. It's going to be a fumble, on a snap, something. Yeah. And then, to their credit, they find just the most unforeseen way to do it. Like, and I understand what they were doing. Like, I'm not faulting the play call. I get what they were trying to do.
I like the play call. I thought
but it comes down to execution. And then in the post game, when we practiced this and we thought that, how are you going to practice something and fail that bad? Not know where the clock is, not realize how much time you have, not realize where an official is,
right?
Not realize that you have to get the official the ball for him to place the ball.
It's on Dak, man. He was stupid.
Can we talk about that official for a minute? This guy went through an NFL quarterback and a center to still spot it pretty damn quickly. That guy's an American icon, man.
It's on Dak, it's on Kellen, it's on McCarthy, it's on the culture that is the Cowboys. I mean, you have a team that commits 14 penalties in a game. You can dispute some of them, but they're the most penalized team in the league. So
just check your Twitter feed.
Right. But like,
yeah,
absolutely. But like, they're the most penalized team in the league. That is a fact, and it's not close. So you have a discipline problem. And then in the post game, when you have an opportunity to take responsibility of the failure of your failure, they don't. It's a finger pointing game. I think something broke in me this week, and like an idiot, I'll walk face first back into it next year because I'm stupid. But
it's called fanhood, Jim.
Man, It's fucking astounding how that team manages to do it year after year after
I
year.
got more takeaways though.
I would argue something even more diabolical than that. Jimmy G throwing the interception was what made that even happen. If the Niners play flawless ball themselves, we're not even having this conversation. Oh, they got dominated by the Niners all game. Durka. Bosa gets hurt colliding with his fellow lineman in friendly fire. Garoppolo throws the interception. Deebo Samuel throws himself forward, gets the first down, but screwed out of it. So then Garoppolo does the false start thing. Like, there were plenty of opportunities handed to you.
Oh, sure.
And the Niners still won. That's really the proper takeaway. But because the Cowboys are literally the most monetarily popular franchise in the NFL,
sports,
which is annoying.
Yeah, well, be that as it may. So you would know about annoying. You're a Patriots fan. So the
I was a Cowboys fan. Hold on, that was a Cowboys fan. Oh wait, no, that was
Chiefs fan. Colts fan. Wait, you're not a Colts fan. They got eliminated.
Yeah. Get your shit right, buddy. Get your shit right, buddy.
Dolphins. Ooh, no.
All that's in common except for the Chiefs is the blue. So
don't be rude. Don't be rude.
Too late. You need to leave. No.
More takeaways, EJ.
I do takeaways. I got a list here. I got a list. EJ's list. These Bucks injuries.
Start full time early. Sorry, go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
These Bucks injuries, despite winning last week against Philadelphia, I'll buy them in the ass because they came into this postseason limping as it was anyway, vulnerable. And then you add now 2 offensive linemen. Now one might miss the game, the other one might probably miss the game as well too. We don't know what's going on with that. At some point, we saw what Baltimore this year with injuries. It was sustained for as long as they could, and then things has cratered with the Bucks. I know they got Brady and they got some weapons, but at some point, and I think they might. We'll get to the predictions obviously, but they might have met their limit this week. I think.
Well, golly, EJ, where have we heard of that before? They're a team with a really great quarterback that's got weapons, but they had lineman injuries. Golly. Where have we heard that involved with the Bucks before? I'm trying to. The Super Bowl last year. Isn't that a part of how they won? Put it out there.
Anything else on your list, EJ?
You're reminding me of this kid. You're a mall Santa, and there's this kid. And what else would you like for Christmas?
I'm not. I love Jalen Hurts, man. I really do. Fantastic human being. But man, that game looked big for him. Looked too big for him. And you to watch him, it's like, wow.
I mean,
we listen. We told you up front, the three of, or at least I did, that he was going to get dominated up front. There's not much he could do about it.
Right.
Get some linemen that can stay healthy and some weapons, and we'll talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Again, it's the easiest thing to do is to blame the quarterback, but
I'm a blaming him.
And again, first off, when you look at 7 seed versus 2 seed, we just talked about it. There's a very different world between the top and the bottom in these conferences, and the more teams you add to it, the bigger that margin gets. So you're looking at that on top of just I mean. How many bad receivers do the Eagles have? How many bad offensive linemen?
No, I agree.
So, I mean, yes, he had some bad spots in that game, but
to be clear, I'm not necessarily blaming Jalen either. We knew this team was lucky to be there, but it is the moment is a little big for him. At the same time, I'm just hoping. I'm not sure what they're going to do going forward. If they're going to go after Deshaun Watson, go after Aaron Rodgers if he's available, go after Russell Wilson if he's available. But I really hope that Jalen gets another crack at this next year as a fan.
EJ, yeah. Jim said it was a whole new world for 7 versus 2. Does that mean Jalen would need a magic carpet to beat the Bucks?
Jesus Christ! Wow, I hate you, dude. By the way, you shaved.
Yeah, I actually got a chance to shower. I know, it was amazing.
Yeah, you shaved. Wait, how's you shave for this podcast? Asshole. Anyway,
because you're in the afternoon and I'm coming off a presentation I just gave to make money. I know. You start paying me, maybe you'll get that treatment.
Call me a goose nozzle. Finally, my last.
I did not say nozzle. Here comes the popcorn.
Put the fucking food away. God damn it! Well, I got Cheez-Its here, by the way, for the record.
Oh, come on!
I mean, I thought you guys were fighting. I might as well get a front row seat.
Hey, Kyle, you didn't bring your rum, whatever the fuck, your shots of vodka, whatever.
I'm out of beer right now. I haven't been able to make it to the damn watering hole to pick up
bro,
more.
you are
Son of a bitch! Now you're just mocking me.
Fucking bad at this shit. I got water and juice here. Come on now. Finally,
What are you?
my last takeaway.
Beautiful baby.
I think the Arizona Cardinals are the most interesting team going into the offseason, honestly, because
who? Say again, who?
the Cardinals are
Okay.
the most interesting team going into the offseason because this Kingsbury thing, where they go, he has 1 more year left of his deal. They can give him a 1 year extension maybe because he's a lame duck next year. Right out the lame duck year, fire him maybe. It's fascinating because the Cardinals, we do letter grades for the student report today for the Cardinals, and it's funny, like if you grade them from totality based on expectation, they actually, in my opinion, overachieved. But the way the season went and the narrative that was driven going into the year, going midway to the year, and then going to the end of the year, and where we're at now, you think this team got an F or something. You know what I mean? They actually overachieved when you think about it.
You gotta love my dude dying on the hill that is his top 10 for having
Really
constant.
does.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
He
don't
is
mean to
more
rehash
loyal
the
to
whole
his
thing,
top
but
10
yeah.
than he is his favorite teams. And yes, I put an ass on that.
All my rankings, buddy. Fuck you.
I don't. I'm, and I know we were discussing it earlier in our text group. Is like I don't think there's a lot of a story there. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. But like I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are a needle mover. I think people might talk about it today, tomorrow, but come Thursday, you're looking at the divisional round, and then look at the teams that are left. I mean, you have a lot of big name teams left in this thing going towards the Super Bowl, and then coming out of it, I think you're going to have bigger story in the offseason. You're going to have the Deshaun Watson thing. You're going to have, I mean, what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? What's going to happen with Russell Wilson? I think there's bigger offseason stories that the Cardinals, no offense to them, who gives a shit about the Arizona Cardinals outside of Phoenix? I mean, they might give Kingsbury another year just so you don't have that coach in his final year thing, but whether he does or not, I don't think there's going to be a lot made out of it. And I mean, you lost your best wide receiver,
among other players.
So like you're gonna have a decline when that happens.
Right.
And I know like the record is September, October, early November record compared to like November and the rest of the season is a harsh reality. But when you look at where they were a couple of years ago to now, I don't even think there's really an argument there to fire Kingsbury.
I agree.
You want to extend him a year just so he doesn't have that cloud hanging over him? Sure. You want to give him just one more year and let's see how it goes? Sure. But if there anybody's saying to fire Cliff Kingsbury right now is crazy. It's crazy. I haven't heard. Yeah, I haven't seen it. And you're also playing in arguably the toughest division in the NFL.
Yeah,
clearly.
And you're still, you know what I mean? 3 playoff teams.
And it would have been 4 if Rusty didn't get hurt, I believe.
I agree.
Probably.
I agree.
The
GOAT.
So, I think any of the small minority of people that are saying that are just out of their mind. Really out of
their mind. #hot take.
Absolutely. I'm gonna say this because the other like part of the question when looking at the wild card round is like who did we learn the most about? And for me, I think it's I think I probably need to apologize to the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, you got to go on your knees.
No.
Oh, easy there, guy.
No. Just because they decided to finally show up. This is a team that lost to the freaking Jaguars. I saw it happen. You need to chill on that bull crap. Second, they had to play a team 3 times to get to where they can dominate it like that. And listen, as anybody who followed the Titans or Jaguars in history, 3 times playing a team is a difficult undertaking, especially when they didn't belong there because that was a forward pass, Jeff Fisher. Anyways, so no, joking aside, there's something to be said for you can do smoke and mirrors all day when you meet a team for the first time, and you can compete in the second time. But that third game, there's no secrets.
Nope.
And the Bills clearly flexed that they had a superior roster. There was no escape this time for Belichick. You want interesting storylines? I'm looking for that New England Patriots draft to see what they do coming up.
Yeah, but I mean, the Bills, they finally put it together. I mean, I just all year I've been down on them. So I think we learned a lot about what they can be.
They owe us an apology for showing up late to the party. Oh,
Like,
we're so sorry we're late. We missed the chicken wings and we're eating cake. The car broke down. You know.
And Big Jim said it's true because like there are weeks there where I do them on my rankings too. So yeah.
Well, I mean, not that you ever get those right, but anyhow.
Oh God!
I ain't the asshole put the Bears in there at week 5. So go right ahead.
First off, I think it was like week 3 or 4.
Week
They were, what, 2-1?
Week 5.
All I know is I didn't have a problem picking good team up for number 10 that week.
I mean, I will still stand by that pick for that
Bears. The Bears, Jim.
I mean, they had they just came off beating the Bengals at that point.
That was week 2.
They were 3-2 and sitting on top
not that
of
week because that was the week the Bengals went in overtime with the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were sitting on top of the North at that point.
Oh, well, there's an accomplishment. I'll tell you what.
I mean, at that point, I mean, whatever. I'll stand by it. I'm not wasting time looking back on the. I mean, it was better than keeping the Chiefs in the top 10 at that point.
Call me a tool. Just call me a tool, and we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I learned the most about what the Bills can be if they want to be. Who did you learn the most about, EJ?
Damn, that's a question. Honestly,
on the list that I sent you, because Lord knows I can't change anything after.
Honestly, when the Rams are good and firing all cylinders on both sides of the ball, my God, they are good. I mean, again, you just mentioned being team 3 times is hard. And Arizona did beat LA early in the year. Let's not forget that.
Right?
No, the Rams won the second one. That was the COVID game. The Rams COVID game, and still won. And that was the one that Arizona really started worrying me about. At that point. But when this Rams team is good, I know they've been kind of sketchy last half the year, but when they are on all cylinders, dude, this is as good as the best team in the league as it can be. You got Von Miller, you got Aaron Donald, Matt Stafford now with a team. Odell Beckham Jr. is playing well now. He's figuring things out. Obviously, Cooper Kupp's been great. This could be the best team in football when they're playing at the top level, and that's why I think I was reminded of that this week because I started stopping the Rams a little bit in recent weeks, wondering if they can get the job done. I was reminded last night that when they're on all cylinders, they are fucking good. So
well, hey, listen, what is it we've said for years on your podcast before it became the Football and Awesome podcast? Matt Stafford is one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks in the league. This is a guy who throws damn near 5,000 yards without Calvin Johnson on the roster. And Matt Stafford is bad. He gets all his yards in garbage time. Yeah. Well, true. There were some garbage time yardages achieved on Monday night. I had to adjust for Monday night. That still feels weird.
Yeah. Last night.
In garbage time, where his team was winning, that's the biggest change.
Right. Yeah, and I mean they went for it. They went for it, with making the roster moves that they did throughout the year, and it looks like it may be paying off at the right time for him. So we will see how that continues to go. Kyle, who did you learn the most about this weekend?
I believe I said it was the Las Vegas Raiders for that particular piece, and I'm going to stick with that. We're talking about Derek Carr willing his team after a sack to still get the damn first down on the following play to put themselves in striking distance. Yeah, I know they fell short, but that's going to be, for me, probably the best playoff moment of the alleged Super Wildcard. I said alleged, back off.
Oh, no, I'm well aware of the alleged.
Wow.
But, the downside is I wonder if the turmoil was what fueled them. If that's the case, well, damn it.
In that case, your new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, Urban Meyer.
Too soon.
But yeah, I mean the Raiders did show, like I said, a lot of grit in that game.
Absolutely.
So before we get to the games this weekend, I was having a discussion with One and Done Radio on Twitter, and I think I can't remember if it was during the Raiders game or the Bills game, but anyway, there was a challenge that that they won. They threw the red flag and won, and he's like, and it was a bad call on the field that had to get overturned, so the challenge got won. And he said that the NFL challenge rule is dumb. Like if you win it, as long as you keep winning challenges, you should never lose challenges. And for me, I was like, I kind of get what he was saying, but I don't need more challenges. I don't need games to go longer than they are. If the NFL can use the New York officials in the referees' ears to react to things and change things on the fly, if you want to integrate more of that, be my guest. But the ability for a coach to, theoretically speaking, have unlimited challenges, I think that is a bad recipe for a TV product football game, because I mean there are games in college football where the replay just gets insane and it drags out and it's over half a yard here, 6 inches, that, you know what I mean? Like it's like, why are we doing this? It's 4th and 9 or 4th and 8 with a minute and a half left in the game. Just, it doesn't matter at this point. Like, why are we doing this? So, like, what do you guys think about the NFL replay system? Kyle, we'll start with you. Do you think it needs to be tweaked? Does it need to be changed? Are you happy with the way it is?
No, if anything needs to be tweaked, it's about the accountability of the officials, which is what puts us in this challenge hell in the first place, right? So no, and for me, let's break it down, right? When do coaches actually need to challenge something, right? Final 2 minutes, you can't throw a challenge because it's all in New York. I definitely approve of that, by the way.
Absolutely.
You know, if New York has unlimited challenges and they're doing it unlimitedly, that's more on the officials than on them. Case of the point. And then there are other places where coaches don't need to challenge because the play is automatically reviewed, scores, turnovers. And I think there's another instance, which means you have 3 separate times to correct the officials on spotting the ball or the correction of a pass versus pass completions versus an incompletion. That's basically it. I know there's other little things like, you know, a guy gets called for defensive pass interference for a ball that was previously tipped. That sort of thing comes up. 3 of them is more than enough, especially if the officials are having that bad of a night to where you get to the 3rd one. That's plenty. They have so much leeway with the final 2 minutes and every score and every turnover. They don't need more. That's this guy. He's looking at just that segment and being like, well, if the coach is right, but yeah, there's so many places where the coaches don't even come into play.
Right.
Correct. EJ.
Yeah, you can't micromanage that stuff, man. You have to allow human error to dictate stuff too. Also, look, I'm pro challenge. I love the 2 minute rule. It goes to New York, all that. But you're asking for fucking trouble if you want to have that all challenge, losing challenge. No. First of all, a lot of these challenge calls are anomalies anyway. Like it's on a big call or an obvious play. But most of the time, the officials do get it right. If we open the door for this Pandora's box, this kind of thing, every holding call will be challenged. Every single one. Because you can argue that every single play.
Yeah, and I mean, you would have to put parameters. You would have to put parameters because, like, right now, you can't challenge whether there was holding on a call, on a play. So
a lot of people don't understand what holding actually is. There's that.
Yeah, I don't think he's arguing. I don't think he was arguing that you should be able to literally challenge anything. It was just if you successfully win a challenge. Like so I guess he wasn't saying that we should change the things that can be challenged. Just that you shouldn't lose a challenge when you win one.
But the thing is, you do that, it opens the door for other stuff.
Sure.
And a guy like Bill Belichick, who's smarter than anybody, will find the ways to
game the system. Absolutely.
So, like I said, it's not you get what you ask for. Just trust me, it's not worth it. Like I said, challenge flags are useful anomalies, and it has worked. It has been effective on this new rule for how long? What, 10 years now at least, maybe longer. So
Probably
I don't
longer,
I see zero. I honestly, these rules are fine. Honestly,
Yeah, and I like the new like hybrid, and I think the XFL actually kind of was the first one to use kind of like the Big Brother referee where
Actually, sir, you are incorrectly referencing the AAF.
that's the one. I knew it was one of the two other leagues.
Yes, I know better because I was covering the league champion Orlando Apollos for the record.
I remember that. I remember that.
By
the way, their starting left tackle being Aaron Evans, and that is the Aaron Evans reference behind me here, who painted this original. So
very nice. So when I like that part of NFL officiating this year is so like if you have a call that was ruled complete or incomplete on the field, and right away New York looks at it, goes, that was incomplete. Referee comes on after discussion, incomplete. Boom, no challenge. No, you don't need to drag out time because you have how many people that are watching that play immediately as it's happening, and before the ball's even set, they're in somebody's ear correcting the call. I like that. More of that, please, and less of wasting time on the field.
I want you to make sure you write down the 36-minute mark, Jim, so you can actually find a clip of you complimenting something the NFL officiating has done.
Well, I mean, if you do something right, I will give you credit for it. All right.
I did for you. 36 minutes.
There we go.
I love you, Jim. How about the Cowboys? Sorry.
How about them? Your Cowboys.
Your Cowboys as a collective.
Hey,
our Cowboys, EJ. Our.
Joe, fuck yourself.
Hey, look, I'm an ordinary.
It's a disgusting act.
Well, this right here is a disgusting act.
And that's even the thing too, is like normally, like if my team gets bounced by somebody, I'm usually like, fuck that team. I'm not mad at the night. There's nothing the Niners did or anything that made me like hate them coming out of this. Like more than and like there was the rivalry in the 90s, but like whatever. I was fucking.
I'll be honest with you, I was looking for the Cowboys to win that game because I can't stand the Niners either. So
yes, we're aware of your bias and inability to distinguish your feelings from actual facts.
One of three teams.
Don't mind saying number 2 all the time.
One of three teams EJ doesn't like. All right, let's start the games. 4:30 Eastern time on Saturday on CBS and Paramount Plus. It is the Bengals traveling to the number 1 seed, fresh off of a bye. Tennessee Titans, 3.5-point home favorite. 47 is your over under on this one. The Bengals are riding high, first playoff win in a number of years. Still not 100% sure if Derrick Henry's returning. So remember, this is on Tuesday. If you're catching it later in the week, plan accordingly. But if you think I'm picking the Titans, you're out of your goddamn mind. Bengals plus, and I will take the under in this one. EJ.
All-time fans came out with YouTube page 2 weeks ago. Go look up Big Jim at Big Jim Sports on Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else. Under definitely feeling the under. Number 1, let's go there. And this is tough because Derrick Henry has been clear to play yet. They haven't announced yet. What Titans team we're going to see this weekend? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't. This is why they're in 5. Well, we'll get the rank later on, but why do I have them on my rankings? Why I have them? You know what? I'm going to go Cincy. Fuck it. I'm going Cincy. On the point. I don't know if they win the game, but 3.5 points. I mean, it could be a field goal game, and Tennessee win at 3. But close game.
All right. Kyle.
Jim, I guess I'm officially out of my goddamn mind. Now let me be clear. I believe the Bengals are a superior team, but I believe the Titans or the Titans are a bad matchup. Let me tell you why. Okay, it's a situation where the Bengals' main scoring are Joe Mixon and then a knockout punch from Jamar Chase from Joe Burrow. And listen, I love the combo. And what's the best way to have a dynamic combo and a big punching team? You stay out of your hair, you run the damn ball. And now keep in mind, I am making this prediction assuming that Derrick Henry is hitting the field. All these reports are adorable. Screw that. I would be shocked if he is not on the field for this game. And when he is, the Titans are not only a more balanced football team to befuddle that defense, I also believe that there will be limited opportunities by this Bengals squad. A young Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase will get anxious and antsy and make mistakes because they are just that anxious and antsy to get on the damn field. Now, I would be more than happy to be proven wrong by Joe Burrow again, as much as I have doubt in the Titans. And because I'm showing them belief, I have every reason to believe I'm going to get this one wrong. I'm still picking the Titans.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
All right.
Hey, y'all are due to get something right on me at some point.
All right. Saturday night, 8:15 Eastern time on Fox. It is the 49ers traveling to the Green Bay Packers, fresh off their bye, a 5.5 point home favorite. 47.5 is your over under in this one. Similar to the idea with the first game, I think if the Niners are going to get this done, and they absolutely can, as we've been discussing for the last couple of weeks, I think the thing is you're going to have to, kind of control the clock and keep that high-powered Green Bay offense off the field. So I think the over is the smarter play in this one. And I think the Niners are really playing well right now. A couple of mistakes aside this past weekend, they kicked the Cowboys' teeth in. So I think they're going to correct the mistakes that went wrong. And like we've been saying, they can beat the Packers. So I'm taking the 49ers plus the 5.5. I also think they win the game. Kyle.
I think it's my fault that you ended up there. But after seeing what the Niners did this past weekend, it's not so much that they can keep Aaron Rodgers off the field, which we all know they can. The most important thing to that strategy being successful is mistake-free football, and I can't guarantee that. This time last week, I would have picked the 49ers against the Packers confidently and pretty much did so on this show in forecasting certain things. However, I cannot do that this week. I have Aaron Charlie Rodgers sending my team home, much to my chagrin. It doesn't matter. I don't think they would have gotten past the NFC Championship anyway. So, yeah, with that aside, who knows? It could lead to a better game for a potential matchup of the Packers and the Rams. I'm very intrigued by that.
All right, EJ.
The big bugaboo with the Niners were recently not, and I've been going, on the Niners wagon the last couple of weeks now, basically saying that the Packers two opponents that they probably should fear is Tampa number one, but they're banged up as hell, and then San Francisco because of the matchup.
Yeah,
but
you came up with that all by yourself.
I did, sure did. Shut up. However, one thing we've noticed now for the last couple of weeks now, the Niners, is that they haven't put together a 4-quarter game in a while. You go back to that Tennessee game, week 16, where they were up, not a big lead.
Oh, you mean the one that put the Titans in the top 10? No shit.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because they beat the Niners. Remember, the Niners in the top 10. Oh, yes, right. Start off the game well, and then they close out horribly. And then the Rams win when they get into the playoffs. They start off horribly, and then end up winning the game late. And then now the Cowboys game this past weekend, they started great, like gangbusters. Then they almost lost the damn game. You cannot do that against Green Bay. You put 4 quarters together against Green Bay, and then you add the injuries too. While I still think that San Fran is a tough matchup for Green Bay,
absolutely.
The closer I get to this game, the better I feel about the Packers win this game. And I'm not gonna say it's a blowout, but I think they will cover the 5.5 points because now
Jim, granted, I'm probably the least air quotes degenerate of this group, but I heard you pick the over for this game.
Oh, under.
Oh, okay. In that case, carry on.
What was the number? Was it 48? The under?
47.5.
I'm gonna go under as well too on this one. So give me a Packers to cover and the under.
I mean, I'm not even putting week 18 into the mix. I think that the Packers were kind of cruise controlling at that point.
Definitely.
But they're ready at that point, so it doesn't matter.
Like they had a close win against the Browns. They had a close win against the Ravens. They had, they've had some close games in the second half of the year. So the implication that you can't not play 4 quarters against this Packers team, I don't know is 100% accurate. It depends which Packers team shows up.
Fair
True.
point.
If the
The
Packers
Niners don't
play
have a lot
4
of
quarters,
firepower.
if the Packers play 4 quarters, you need to play 4 quarters against them.
There you
Right.
go.
But if the Packers don't show up for 4 quarters, then it's anybody's game.
Which is a great point, but I will say as much also too. It does feel like though, based on the optics around them, that things are starting to fall in place for Packers. Or, even the Niners and Bucks are tough opponents. Though both those teams have a lot of big injuries. Come to this week. It feels like things are falling in line for the Packers right now. Now, I could be wrong.
Which makes me feel like this is a unbelievably big spot for the Packers to blow it.
Of course. I mean, Jim was right. Jim was right, though.
It feels like
He
everything.
is right. That's why it's funny.
Yeah, Jim was right.
And again, it's been a decade since this franchise won it all. They are another one, and yes, they've won Super Bowls in the last couple decades, 2 of them. But like they are almost always great and always at the top of that division, and they more times than not find ways to lose.
Agreed. What I will say, in my opinion, this Packers team is the best Packers team he's played on. Rodgers has played on, in my opinion, even better than the 2010 team.
Doing this shit again.
That's my opinion. So I feel better about the Packers team. Look,
Is it though?
No, it's not. Not by a long shot.
No, it is.
Because the running game, because they have probably the best running game.
Because even when we went 13-3 last year, I picked against them. 13-3 2 years ago, I picked against them because there's no balance.
But Aaron Rodgers has played on teams that have had a running game. The running back just got hurt,
No.
and they had Jermichael Finley at tight end,
2010.
multiple receivers.
2010, Ryan Grant got hot late in the year, but that wasn't consistent. Okay, this is the first time he's had a consistent game from start to finish so far.
Yeah, because he got hurt. What?
They have a two-headed monster now in Dylan and the other guy Jones.
Yeah, okay, great. A two-headed monster in the backfield with one really significant weapon.
Yeah, they don't have a tight end,
And the defense isn't as good, by the way. Sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
No, I agree. I mean, the defense is not as good as it
I
was.
think the difference in the defense, this defense versus the one in 2010, is that the 2010 defense actually put points on the board for you. Charles Woodson was defensive player that year, by the way. And,
with 10 injuries on it or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
so it's not the best team he's played. That's what you're telling me.
I think it is, personally, because it up and down.
Now, if you were to try to make the argument for the best offense, maybe.
But
and
again,
still lose.
You
but
can continue that argument. But
the point is, all be not if they lose before the Super Bowl, it doesn't even matter because then that point is warranted.
Right.
Not
you know, I just outside of Devontae Adams, I mean, what's your receiving?
all these guys, though.
Real quick, name the Packers tight end, DJ. I can't either, so it's okay.
Yeah, we're not faulting you for not
Is
being
it Bubba Frank? Is it Bubba Franks? Oh, Mark Tremore? No.
Christ, is that even this decade?
Are you just naming all
Yes,
the
he
tight
is.
ends and technical?
I'm in tool mode. I'm in tool mode. I apologize.
For the block, please. Yeah, I have no clue who the Packers tight end is. I'll give you $5 if you can name a Packers receiver that is Devontae Adams. No.
Venmo me, buddy.
Randall Cobb, but he's hurt.
That's true. I know Equinemius
Where's
St.
my money,
Brown is
bitch?
there because he's a Notre Damer. I know that.
Anyways.
Which apparently his brother in Detroit is a better wide receiver, which blows my mind. Yeah, I guess we will see. Let's go to Sunday then. It is the Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a 3-point home favorite. They get Leonard Fournette back, despite the injuries on the offensive line. This one at 3:00 on NBC and Peacock. 48.5 is your over/under on this one. Man, I feel like this is just going to be an awesome game. And I'm going to miss the first hour of it because I have to work. But
Stupid responsibility.
I know, stupid being an adult. It's always getting in the way.
Boys.
Man, I think the Rams right now are playing like the better team. Despite a couple of bumps over the last couple of games of the regular season. Last night, again, that's weird in the playoffs. It felt like everything came together Buccaneers probably a better team. I don't think anybody's going to debate that at this point with where the Cardinals were and where they were trending. But I'm definitely taking the Rams plus. I think they win the game. But I think it is going to be close. It's going to come down to if somebody makes a critical mistake, and we've seen it this year. Both of these quarterbacks, as good as they are, have made critical mistakes for their teams at times. So can the defense get the opposition to blink? Both defenses are playing hungry right now, especially on the pass rush. So 48.5, despite the power in the offenses, I'm probably leaning under. It could easily go over, but I'm going to pick under just because I think you have two older quarterbacks that are going to get tested big time on the pass rush. So give me the Rams plus and the under. EJ.
This is actually easier for me. What I saw Monday, and I said it early on the show, the Rams showed me that when they're playing in all cylinders, they are arguably the best team in football. Arguably.
Oh, I know why you were so frustrated today during recording the Football is Awesome podcast. Tommy probably stopped taking your calls. I'm so sorry.
Does Tom know you're talking bad about him? Does Tom know?
Unfortunately, yeah. Al Guerrero, blocked my calls. Anyway,
nice.
Anyway, the timing can be off of the Bucks right now. Like I said, Rams win this game. I might even it's not even an argument for me. I think the Rams right now, if what we saw Monday is going to be the thing going forward, the Rams win this game without a problem because these Bucks injuries at some point it's going to catch up. And even on Sunday they went off the gas a little bit too late. I mean, obviously the game was in hand because the Eagles, but
I think that was also a combination of them just hey.
Right.
Let's get out of here without any more injuries.
But these injuries are huge. I mean, and the guys that are getting hurt now are guys that are going to impact Brady and what he does in this game. And that pass rush, Von Miller, getting to Kyler Murray and Aaron Donald, whatnot. I just think that the timing is bad for the Bucks. So give me the Rams here to win outright. What was the number over again?
48.5.
Ooh, that's
high. I'll take the slight over.
Over. Man, with those, especially, I mean, like I said, it can happen. Both of these offenses have the ability to score.
Right.
But I think those front sevens are just going to eat quarterbacks alive.
Yeah, right. No, and with me thinking 24-21 in this game, that's definitely barely an under, right? So, I mean, granted, the smart money is don't bet this damn game.
That's true. Yes, absolutely.
It's definitely a stay away. Stay away.
But that all being said, I got the Rams. We've cited the O-line issues and Aaron Donald and Von Miller. Okay, I shouldn't have to say anymore. Jalen Ramsey's cute, but he's streaky as hell, and let's be honest. Mike Evans is the guy who would need to be stopped in that instance. But again, if Brady can't get rid of the ball, then that is not a factor. However, should the Patriots win Buccaneers win the day.
Close enough.
Right. They're both three syllables, right? Should the Buccaneers win the day? Yes, take it, bitch. I see you counting over there. Do you need to take your shoes off, Jim? Put some popcorn on there and count it that way.
I tried.
One mother beep.
I tried to warn you.
That checks out.
Confirmed. Okay. Should the Buccaneers win the day, however, Leonard Fournette is going to have a huge game, not running the football, but catching it out of the backfield. Listen, this isn't James White or one of those old Patriots running backs that Tom Brady had in his day where he could leak out, but he's gotten to be a heck of a pass-catching running back. I know people have called Leonard Fournette a bust that used to cover the Jags in their day. Boy, they're looking dumber with every passing game, it would seem. So with all the above being said, I have the Rams. That defensive front is going to do some damage with some missing offensive linemen, kind of like what the Bucs did against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, as we cited. And the Rams offensive line was marked, I believe they were marked higher than the Bucs going into this game with everybody starting. But Tristan Wirfs being in a boot, that's a problem.
Major problem.
What's that?
Major problem.
Yeah. So at days in, and oh, by the way, Cam Akers and Sony Michel in the backfield for the Rams. Not enough talk about them, but there's certainly enough to make this offense balanced.
Absolutely. Jason here at the core of it says Rams will win this game stats wise, but we all know as long as Brady is in a uniform, you can't bet against him.
Yeah, see, one of these people that don't understand that a roster has carried that old man.
Yeah, it's less
not
about
Tom
Brady.
Brady.
It's less about Brady, more about the roster and people who protect him. And if you can't protect Brady, he's ineffective. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And he has guys on the line that may not be played this weekend, and that's a problem.
And in the Buccaneers' defense, if their defense does their job exceedingly well, this could be a pretty damn close game.
If they're healthy, if the Bucs are healthy, they win this game. But they're not. Bottom line.
I wouldn't even say it outright. Like, it would be close.
I still think it's going to be close. I mean,
yeah.
And you know, we talked about 60-minute games with the Niners and the Packers. The Rams are just as guilty of that at times this year. So, you know, it'll depend which Rams team fully shows up on Sundays. So let's then finally look at 6:30. What's that?
Game of the week.
Yeah, probably. CBS and Paramount Plus. The Bills at the Chiefs, a 2-point home favorite for Kansas City. 54.5 is your over under on this one. Yeah, this definitely looks like the game of the week. The Chiefs played and toyed around with the Steelers a little bit in the bloated corpse of Ben Roethlisberger, but at the end of the day, when the Chiefs finally decided to stop toying with them, that game was never in question. Now we're gonna find out because this is a rematch of what, like week 2, when neither team was playing anywhere close to the we're gonna find out who both of these teams are. Are the Bills going to actually repeat the performance that we know they can do, that we saw this past week? Are the Chiefs gonna be the playoff Chiefs that we've come to know and know for the past few years? There's so many questions with this game, and it is a very very intriguing matchup going into this Sunday. You know what? I'm going to pick the Bills. This one really could go either way. Basically a coin toss. If you're talking 2 points at home, I mean, theoretically speaking, the Bills are a 1-point favorite on the neutral field, so it's basically a coin toss. Give me the Bills to cover the 2. Give me, obviously, to win, really, at that point. And give me the over. Let's have some, because I think all the other games I picked under. So give me some points on a Sunday night. EJ.
Wow. Vegas loves Bill here. Favorites, even after we saw this last Sunday. To tell you something, this is a tough one though. Obviously the over is the play here. That's the bet of the week, probably. It's taking the over. Man, my problem with Buffalo is, which team do we see this week?
They're not your Chiefs.
The problem with Buffalo is, okay, we saw they put up 47 against Belichick. Shut up. Against Belichick, you know.
Wow.
But the problem with the Bills,
we lost you.
I know.
Shit on the Patriots and his mic.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny how that works.
Let me stop it. No.
Homeland Security knows where your fanhood is, bitch.
Exactly. No. But you see Buffalo all year long. You have one huge win, and then they just next week they kind of come back to earth a little bit. You know.
And then sometimes they crumble all the way down and lose to the Jaguars.
So are they gonna continue to move the momentum, go from last week to this week? That's Kansas City. I don't know, man. You know what? It's gonna be a great game. Give me the Chiefs to cover slightly, but it'd be a great game.
Well, no shit.
Kyle.
Well, with all due respect, Sergeant Harmon, I don't agree. I don't think this is going to be that good a game. I think we already talked about the game of the week with the Rams and the Bucs. That being said, listen, I don't know what it is, but the Bills just don't have as much balance, and the Bills don't have as many weapons. And heck, I could even argue that they don't protect as well at times as the Chiefs, though. I'm sure there's some, Pro Football Focus number or something that some nerd will come up with to argue with me about that. But the punchline is this, gentlemen. The Chiefs, relatively speaking, have a much more solid ground game and therefore more balance. It's not just about Patrick Mahomes II slinging it all over from the cheap seats. And, oh, by the way, he can run just as bloody well as Josh Allen. Granted, he may not look like a Viking doing it, clubbing MFers with stiff arms and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for this to be decided by the offense, the Chiefs are going to win the day. I don't care how many mistakes they make. Hell, the Niners were leading the Chiefs in the Super Bowl for 3.5 quarters, and then Patrick Mahomes II went all Patrick Mahomes II on fools. You also forget against the Texans, back when they were good, what seemed like 5 minutes ago. All of a sudden, what was it? They scored 24 points in the space of like 3 minutes or something stupid like that. At the end of the day, the Bills aren't really all that much different a team from last year. Why would I expect them to be more of a good matchup against the Chiefs? The Bills have not bestowed that confidence in me yet. Now watch them blow them out and make me completely wrong. Certainly possible.
Well, isn't it more, at least for me anyway, about what if you look at the Chiefs' full resume this year? I think it's more about what the Chiefs may not be this year compared to what the Bills are this year.
But that was more about lessons learned by the coaching staff and learning, hey, you don't have to chuck it down the damn field every time. That's something that I think was far more correctable than what the limitations that exists on the Bills roster and frankly have not been yet addressed.
All right, that's fair. Jason here says whoever wins this game will be the AFC Super Bowl representative, just like the winner of the Packers 49ers. He says 38-35.
I agree with the AFC side of that, definitely. The winner of this game is going to the Super Bowl. No question. The NFC side, not so much.
But I thought
that means it's the Titans.
I thought the Titans were a Super Bowl contender, EJ.
Boom! Right in the face! In the face!
Well, if the Titans win this week, I was proven correct. Because to become a contender, you got to play in that Final Four. So, yeah.
Yeah, but if you get your ass kicked in the AFC Championship game, you're not a Super Bowl contender.
Wait a minute. You mean if they get their ass kicked in a semifinal game, they didn't belong, Jim? Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I said.
Boy, that was a cheap shot by me.
Good Lord.
That is a disgusting act.
I would have also accepted, wow.
Wow.
Let's see. What's Jason say? The 49ers play calling was the reason why we gave the Chiefs a shot while throwing the ball 5 minutes ago.
Stop it. One of these play calling guys.
Jason's a friend of mine. Jason is a Niners homer.
It's just a bad take.
He's a Niners homer.
Like the Niners play calling actually had a touchdown pass open and Garoppolo missed the throw. It was a tough throw, but it was there. There was an opportunity to tie that game up. Don't get this shit out of here.
All right. Well, I mean, we're gonna, I guess, keep doing this until the end of the season. So, as we have been through.
My question is he going to come rolling out here with a list that has 4 teams on it? Like, that's my question.
And does he still have to make an argument for the Chiefs at 1 if they lose this week? That's
they'll be gone.
Well, I mean, they should have been out of your top 10 5 weeks into the year, but you found a way to sneak.
You had the Bears in. You got so I'll get the Bears in there.
It's because they were frisky.
That too.
That's right. If they make it really close and they really have a tight win, you'll put them at 4A next week on
Frisky 4. That's right.
Frisky 4. Oh, got it. It's in.
Oh, good Lord. Way to go, Kyle.
What have I done?
Way to go, Kyle.
Fuck you, buddy.
All right, let's look at them. 49ers at 8, Bengals at 7, Buccaneers 6, Titans 5, Bills 4, Rams 3, Chiefs 2, and Packers are your number 1.
Do you want me to defend my 8 first before you guys dabble a little bit?
8 is absolutely correct.
The
Niners played themselves into the 8th spot.
Yeah, because there's a question marks on social media asking me why are the Buccaneers so low? The Buccaneers are low because of one reason: the injuries.
Yeah,
I'm very worried about the injuries. Buffalo,
correct.
Right.
Man,
Other than that,
I spelled a word. Hold on, I gotta fix that. It's gonna drive me crazy.
I saw it too, but I won't tell the audience what it is.
Tennessee also in the middle because I don't know what I'm going to see this weekend.
They can hit rewind if they want to.
That's right.
All right, okay, we're gonna say. You guys go ahead. What are we gonna say?
So, I mean, listen, I like a lot of it. The only thing I might nitpick is putting the Bucks ahead of the Titans.
That was a consideration actually too.
Yeah, because their defense is better and the receiver core is better. And their offensive line they don't have injuries like that. But they've not been playing quite up to snuff of late. But it's not enough of a difference for me to complain because at the end of the day, trying to get a lineman back into sync in the playoff game is rough. I mean, it's not like they don't practice together and stuff. I get it, but it's the playoffs. It's a little bit of a high pressure situation, you know.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Sorry, Coach. We've been doing that for the past hour.
I mean, it's taken 20 weeks, but I think you actually might have gotten it on this one.
Wow.
I mean, I could probably nitpick the Titans because I'm not. I still think you're overselling them.
Well, but again, they're in the middle for a reason. They're in the middle because we don't know what we're going to see this Sunday.
I feel like I know what we're going to see on Saturday with them, but
damn,
Saturday, right? Sorry.
But we'll
see. Titans fans went after for us, and we went after us, and we weren't even that cruel, Jim. Holy shit.
Yeah.
They can come over here.
Come after me.
But yeah, I don't really think there's really much wrong here. Yeah, I mean 4, 5, 6, maybe even tie the Bengals in to that grouping of teams where you could kind of almost interchange them a bit. I mean, you can kind of put that your top tier. I think right now are Packers, Chiefs, and Rams. I think the Rams played themselves into that spot despite what the Cardinals were doing over.
They jumped too this week. They were 5 last week. Remember, Kyle?
Yeah, and they earned it. They absolutely earned it. That you go out and you kick the teeth out of a divisional opponent. I mean, I think you earned that. The 49ers definitely belong at the bottom of this list. Bengals
if they won by 2 scores, I might have a beef, but no, they did nothing to help themselves. I agree.
The game. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If the playoff Cowboys actually decided to execute a proper, a game plan or play plan, then we may be talking about something different here.
How about this? I mean, if the Cowboys decided to wake up in the first fucking quarter and not fall behind the way they did.
Or how about this? If they didn't follow my Batman analogy and then end up staying at the bottom of the pit where Bane left them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's so. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, if you want to juggle, like I said, 4, 5, 6, 7 around, sure. You want to those are fine, but I think 1, 2, 3 are exactly where they need to be. I think 4, 5, 6, 7.
I could argue the Rams won, but I won't.
No, I mean I can see it. Well, Rams number 1.
Yeah,
at a Green Bay.
Yeah. I could, but I won't. I mean, an argument can be made. I don't know that I actually feel that way.
I'm surprised when saying the Chiefs too high. I'm surprised.
At this point, when they can threaten to show, maybe. I mean, I'll put it this way: I would more vehemently argue Rams over Chiefs.
Right.
But with your logic of I want the 2 Super Bowl contenders to be 1 and 2 by default, which I hate, by the way. Because it's not a true reflection of who's a better team. It's just a matter of what conference they're in.
It's not a true power ranking at that
point. No.
That's a whole other question. But yeah, since you have told us, EJ, that you favor to have your top 2 teams be your Super Bowl contenders. That's why I'm letting it slide. It really should be Bucks, Rams, and you can interchange that.
Oh no, but I don't do that according to conference. Like if I felt like the Rams are better than the Chiefs,
oh, then you suck.
Yeah, I would put the Rams number 2, but no, I think KC is better than everybody on there.
Yeah, jackass.
then the inconsistency of the Chiefs I would nitpick them down to 3. But again, you've been far more off with the Chiefs at other points in the year. But yeah, I listen. And you're having me nitpick. I'm doing that for radio content. I'm really actually happy with this top 8.
Yeah. I am fine with it here. Jason says, End of the day, defense wins championships. You think the Packers can stop Debo? In your top 8 remaining, what's your rankings in top defense? I can shut down.
It may not matter if Aaron Rodgers gets a big lead early. San Francisco's fucked.
If the Packers are, I mean, the point is right about defense, but by the same token, if you make mistakes and spot the Packers a touchdown or two, I don't give a shit how good your defense is.
Right. The thing is, too, also, I don't know. I just think that the reason why I said Green Bay was the San Fran Green Bay thing was a challenge for Green Bay is because San Fran brings a balance that they can keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. You know, they came off the field.
They force an imbalance is really a better
right. And if you can't do that, and if Aaron Rodgers, if the Packers pounce on early, that shit's out the window now.
And that's where the defensive point is correct.
And that's clear. Right. And then you put in Garoppolo, putting in Garoppolo's hands now to win you. And I'm sorry. I mean, as good as he can be at times, he's banked up as his number one. You know, and you know he had the finger injury and then what else now? Not a shoulder thing now.
Okay, but at the end of the day, he's had enough game-winning drives this year. Like, if I'll put it this way, if you're going to tell me, hey, you can force a situation where the Niners could win the game, but it's in Garoppolo's hands, I'm going to take it every time. He's been performing late in games.
No, I'm with
you. On his hands incredibly well.
I'm actually a bigger Garoppolo fan than people credit for. But at the end of the day, the Niners' formula to winning is balance, run game, so the pass.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, right.
You can't do that with down 14, down 21 against the Packers.
I love that other people have gotten in on the bashing EJ's power rankings. So he says 49ers beat Rams twice. You have them listed third. Isn't a true power ranking. I mean, guy, if we're gonna start picking apart, isn't a true power ranking? EJ was talking about we know what the Chiefs are going to be in the AFC Championship in Week 3. So
the Browns beat the Bengals twice this year too. What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean,
and the Jets beat them too, right? I mean, we're gonna do this shit. The Bears beat them.
The Jets beat the Bengals this year. What are we doing?
But they aren't what we thought they were.
Now, that being said, to the point about the Niners having beaten the Rams twice, we've already talked about it during the show about beating a team a third time is damn tough. And I'll be honest, guys. If we have an AFC Championship featuring the Rams and the Niners, I'm gonna tell you already, I'm picking against the Niners.
Yeah, and you're a Niners fan.
I mean, you also have to look at context in the season as to where teams are at in terms of health, where teams are, especially in a COVID world, where the teams can have guys that are all of a sudden late game scratches on a Friday or a Saturday afternoon. So. Just this team beat this team 2 times. I mean, I always go back to this argument. The last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, they were 12-4 in the regular season. 2 of those losses came to the 6-10. Well, at the time, Washington Redskins.
These soon to be Red Tails. Got it.
Division matchups get weird. Bad games happen, teams get slipped up. You're gonna lose football games. It's going to happen. So saying that a team isn't the best or isn't at the top 5 because they lost to so and so during the year isn't
my favorite one is the fact that the Giants 2007 championship run, they lost to Dallas twice that year, beat them in the playoffs. They lost to Green Bay in Week 2, beat them in the playoffs. They lost to the Patriots Week 17, beat them in the Super Bowl.
I was about to say, yeah, they beat your Patriots.
So
the year
again,
that they gave them their one-time
loss. Only holds much water to some degree. Now, like I said, wrong. Football is one of those games, sports that any given Sunday, that kind of thing. But we can't buy in wholeheartedly into that argument. It does have an argument to a point. I think the Niners and the Rams do play. Niners definitely gives them a chance. Niners have a chance, but third time, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough play. Anything else, gentlemen, before we close this one out?
I'm good.
All right, Kyle, you got anything?
An honor, joy, and privilege once again, each and every time, gentlemen. I love it. By the way, I'm forced and inclined to ask, just let Rusty be Rusty and handle his departure from Seattle the correct way.
Sure.
You mean Russell Wilson, of course. Yeah, I love Russ to death, but
Here comes the bad take. Ready?
The bad take is that Russell Wilson needs to kind of, if he wants to leave Seattle, just say so.
We'll be able to talk about that later, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those off-season storylines that I'm sure we're going to touch on. EJ,
as my buddy Craig says, Sierra's husband. Anyway, Earth Speaker Podcast Network on all podcast catchers. We're rolling right now. We have all the shows there in wrestling podcasts, basketball podcasts, my podcast, you name it. On Twitter, EJ7. Earth Speaker Media Express on YouTube. Check out the YouTube page. Subscribe, please. We got clips there. We got episodes, everything there, archives, you name it. And fellas, again, a wonderful Tuesday. I look forward to this every single Tuesday. Again, it's almost over for us, though, unfortunately.
For the time being, your feed, the Earnestly Speaking network, is where you can find the audio for this show. We're still working on that one. Jason, thanks for playing along, man. We appreciate it as always.
Yeah, thank you.
So make sure if you want to hear the audio from this show until we get our podcast feed situated. I feel like we're getting closer because I got the 3 count one.
Yeah, thank God. I just realized I was 2 weeks behind on 3 count.
Yeah, because I didn't get to upload for a couple of weeks. So go to the Earnestly Speaking feed for the audio of this show. Kyle, do your thing.
When you say you're 2 weeks behind on the 3 count, is that kind of like I need to binge and catch up on a show on Netflix? Is that a similar kind of feeling?
Or in that, he didn't have the show up for like a couple weeks on the feed,
right? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, listen. I mean, it's only appropriate that if you want audio only, EJ's your guy, Earnestly Speaking Network. Anyways, of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student.
We're still doing it.
And of course, I have to tell that joke because of how efficiently and swiftly you put the YouTube clips up today for the Football is Awesome podcast with you, me, Mike, and Zach the Degenerate. He's the only one that's got a title. I mean, I am the student of the game, but I can't call myself that.
Well, you've been doing it for the last fucking 15, 20 years, right? So come on now.
I have never come up to you and said, the student of the game, can you smell what the student of the game is cooking? Shit don't work.
That is a disgusting act.
I know. That's the point, Jim.
Don't be rude.
That's
the joke.
That's the joke. No. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter as the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my work covering UCF basketball and football with the Black and Gold Banneret, blackandgoldbanneret.com. Of course, the Black and Gold Banneret podcast, where you can catch up on all things UCF related. Of course, my work with the 3pointconversion.com. News has come in that we have been approved to cover. Yes, that's the number 3, not the word 3. Thank you, EJ. Of course,
that's my gimmick on 3 count too.
This run now for the last like fucking like 8-9 years now. I'm so used to it now.
Your face is
more or less.
Anyways, no. Of course, we are approved to cover events on Media Row there at the Super Bowl. So look out for that from the 3-point conversion, and I will be on the scene. So that'll be fun too. And of course, check out my work with my friend Demosthenes Euclid on the Hilarity by Default YouTube channel. You'll notice that part keeps changing every time, EJ, because that is the newest part. Of course, check out the required viewing video podcast. We're still working on an audio only version, which means that EJ hasn't heard a single episode. Also not true. Thank you. Did you just throw in dozen months for the hell of it? Why not? Don't be rude. No.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude.
I think that's the list of rundowns. Gentlemen, in honor and joy and privilege. By the way, I would talk about covering the Jags with the 3-point conversion, but so
done.
Until next time, gentlemen, where I think I'm worried I'm gonna have a very unsuccessful playoff pick week. Class dismissed.
I'm just disappointed you guys didn't mention my West Canaan Coyotes t-shirt.
I didn't know if that was for football or for hockey, so I didn't ask.
It's the Varsity Blues, my guy. Come on.
Better than the Cowboys and the fucking North shirt you wear. So yeah, good job.
A tan.
A fucking tan.
Look on me, I'm 40. Anyway.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. As always, make sure you are following the show on social media at Huddle Up Podcast on Facebook and Twitter at Huddle Up Pod. On Instagram, you can follow me at Big Jim Sports. Make sure you are subscribed to the show on YouTube. You can subscribe on the audio feeds because they will eventually transfer over to our new home, but you won't get any new episodes on the audio feed through the Huddle Up Podcast feed. For now, get your merchandise over at whatamaneuver.net. Check out our home network, NGSC Sports, at ngscsports.com. And our secondary home is the Leib Sports and Music Network, LEEIB Sports.com. And, of course, over at the Earnestly Speaking Network as well, you can get the audio feed for the show. So make sure you do that. And until next week, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the win.